Hello, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. I'm your host, Daniel Daly. In this edition of Quick Hits, I'll be going over things around the NBA. Let's get right into it. With Ben Simmons returned to Philly on Tuesday night in the loss, 115 to 106. Um, Without Philly's three best players, without Joel Embiid, without James Harden, without Tyrese Maxey. And Ben Simmons had an okay night, nearly a triple double, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. And just basically a microcosm of what's been going on with Brooklyn this year. Just the ability not to defend anybody, where Paul Reed is getting off, DeAnthony Melton's getting off, George Niang is getting off. All these things keep happening to the Nets, and it's just starting on the defensive end. And those are situations where you think about where Bruce Brown, who provided all the energy plays for them, all the little dirty plays and mixing it up on the perimeter and stuff like that. And that's what this team is missing right now. Offensively, they seem to get things going with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, but in this game, just another lackluster performance on that side of the ball, especially defensively, where they just couldn't get things going. But the media tried to make this more than what it was, hate wise, feud wise, rivalry wise, vengeance wise with Philly and Brooklyn, and without Joel Embiid to put the energy in the arena, the vitriol in the arena. Doc Rivers wasn't doing it. James Harden isn't even a part of this right now. And Ben Simmons basically playing it coy entering the game. There wasn't that feeling, of course, of hatred towards Ben Simmons. Fans in Philly, for God's sakes, were taking photos with him before the game and stuff like that. TNT tried to play it up. Charles Barkley tried to play it up and basically said the fans were going to go at him. And yes, they did. They booed him, of course, every time he touched the ball. But it wasn't one of those games like a LeBron going back to Cleveland or a Kyrie going back to Boston or anything like that, or anything of that nature. It wasn't to those levels of hatred or steaminess or anything like that. Just very downplayed, and especially with the lack of energy from the crowd in that regard, and the lack of energy and the lack of a defensive performance, especially from the Brooklyn Nets. Yeah, like this game just didn't meet the expectations what we thought it would be, or the level that we thought it could have been. Um, the Nets are just in a state of array where they're going to be as good as their offense is, and their defense isn't really good, so they're not going to be really good. Everyone's kind of waiting on Ben Simmons to wake up and be the guy that he was in Philly, and I don't know if it's there anymore. We've seen glimpses of it. He's had some good statistical performances, what we used to seeing from him. Kyrie Irving returning after his situation, after all that controversy and losing his sponsor with Nike and being suspended 5 games. He's back. So the Nets are just an ever evolving soap opera, an ever revolving door of who's in, who's out right now. And it's very unfortunate because actually, no, it's not. Let me backtrack because I've been having an issue with the media who always continue to pick the Nets regardless of their situation. Um, Continuously say, hey, if there's a glimmer of hope, and give these guys a chance and see what they can do, and they can win a title and they can make some noise in the East. It's been like that for the past 4 years, and we have had the same result of disappointment, uh, uh, failed expectations, um, just everything of just a disappointment with the Brooklyn Nets in every regard. Even when they had James Harden, even when they had those other guys, a collection of guys, and that's pretty much who they're missing right now for their team. Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, um, Bruce Brown, especially all these guys that really helped them form that identity in Brooklyn beforehand. They don't have those caliber guys, and yes, they have Utah Wananabe. I don't want to butcher his name. Hopefully, I did it, but he's been playing well. Seth Curry's coming back from injury. Joe Harris is coming back from injury. I think he's on the trading block. I think that can be a rumor or whatever the case may be. Um, Patty Mills is going to be who he is, but it's just like this Nets team is just a big disappointment so far to start the season, and very, very. You don't know which way it is, but you know it's gonna it's gonna end in a car crash, basically, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, Kevin Durant at some point, unless this team hits a miracle in the offseason or something like that and get some pieces around him, that he's most likely going to be traded. Kyrie Irving's most likely gone, especially after this year with all the backlash from the Jewish community and his posts and his comments and his actions over the past couple weeks, previous couple weeks. And you don't know the road of Ben Simmons. Maybe a team is going to take a chance on him because talent is talent in the NBA, and teams are always going to be willing to take a chance on a guy who has that pedigree, especially his skill set and talent. They're always going to take a chance on him. So it's just like, what's next for the Brooklyn Nets? Because obviously this was a failed experiment, and I don't know if they can turn it around. I think they can be okay, but in terms of being a contender, I don't know about that. I don't believe so. And you're just wondering what's next for all these guys, especially Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and Ben Simmons. What's next for these guys? Because it's obviously not going to be together. They're obviously not going to get it fixed right now. And we'll see what happens with Brooklyn going forward. But there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding the Brooklyn Nets right now.